Up. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So today we're going to be reacting to more Fat Logic. I don't know why I make these videos when I'm wearing glasses. I never wear my glasses. It doesn't really matter. I'm just like, I feel like it's so much easier if I do it like this because then you can see my face. But no, got my glasses on because I cannot read without them. Okay. Let's see this. Ooh, there's an Fat Acceptance Facebook group. Of course there is. Okay. Let's get into it. Sharing a photo so y'all can commiserate with me on this. Airbnb toilet that fits about 1.25 of a butt cheek and which leaves you having to get up and hope to have any hope of wiping. Not to mention the toilet paper's on the right side down underneath the cabinet that's just jutting into your head. And it's the only bathroom in a 3-bedroom place. Oh God. Oh my God. Sorry, I just saw what that I'm sorry. I gotta read that. I had to poop on a disposable brain. How is that not rock bottom for you? That's sad. What? What? Okay, let's just address this first. So, if I had to be honest, I would say that this does look a little bit narrow, but it's not the worst thing I've seen. Like, this person will probably freaking have a heart attack if they ever saw my bathroom. My bathroom, because I live in New York, is extremely small and tiny. So yeah, and the fact that this is the only bathroom in a 3-bedroom place, like that's a little bit annoying. I would be annoyed by that. Like only one bathroom and 3 bedrooms. I'd be annoyed by that. But also it's like, you chose this Airbnb. Like, it's an Airbnb, right? Yeah, like you chose it. There's probably photos online that you saw this photo. You could see it's narrow. You're going to have to consider how your body's going to be able to fit in certain places. It's not like it's a hotel room where you would have no idea how it's going to look, or even in a hotel room you would, but it's not like you had no other choice. You chose this Airbnb, honey. You chose to go somewhere that only had 1 bathroom in a 3-bedroom place. Like, maybe it's what you could afford, and that's fine, but you chose that. So why are you complaining and why are you getting upset? Like, you shouldn't get upset with something that you knew you were going to get. Like, you knew you're probably going to get this bathroom because they probably had a picture of this online. I don't know what the criteria is for Airbnbs, but usually they try to have a picture of everything that's there. And at least I feel like they would mention that there's a 3-bedroom, but there's only 1 bathroom, So it's like, I don't know why you're pretending like you didn't already know this and you're getting upset and like elaborating on how annoying it was for your experience. Okay, so that's what I would say about that. Like, just choose another place that has a different bathroom if this isn't able to accommodate you. Like, how is this person supposed to help the construction of their bathroom? They just made an air, like, this is just their Airbnb. They're just giving, like, they're just using it as a place for people to rent and stay in. Like, you can be annoyed, that's fine, but at the end of the day, you're the one who chose to stay here. Okay, let's see this. Welp, it's shower peeing time, I guess. Ugh. Oh my God, this is the bad one. I've had to poop into a disposable baking tray lined with tissue for similar reasons. What is this emoji? Why would you use this? This is such an inappropriate emoji. Anyways, it's like a smirking, like that's the worst emoji you could be using in this context. When my partner and I were looking at rentals, I insisted on attending everyone to make sure that I could not end up in this situation again. If I can squat with my whole body way easier than using the toilet, something is wrong. I gotta see the comments on this after this video because I don't want to read the comments because, like, it's my opinion. I'm talking, I don't want to like use other people's voices, but this is bad. Like, how is this not rock bottom for you? Like, maybe realizing, oh, like, I'm not going to pretend like I've never had to be in an uncomfortable situation where I've had to, I'm not going to get too personal because that's disgusting, but like, but it's been because the toilet has been broken. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go further on that. Not because I literally physically couldn't get in the toilet, like to a certain extent, I don't know how big you have to be to where you have to do that. That's just sad, in my opinion. That's like a oh shit moment, literally, but a realization moment. I don't know how these people can just like laugh it off or like use a smirking emoji, like, haha, this is just life. I guess at a certain extent, you just get used to it. You get used to this. I don't know. That's bad. Virgie Tovar. Okay, the average American woman. The average bath towel size is made to fit a 6/8. Of course, she's saying this to sell something. Yeah, so that's kind of, I think this opens up a bigger conversation, because sometimes I'll hear certain people who are against fat acceptance, including like me, not me, who will say like, oh, fat people are such a small percentage of the population. Why do we need to compensate for them? But then I see statistics like this. It's like, well, actually, the average woman is bigger. But like, I don't think this constitutes as obese. Like 16 to 18, size 16 to 18, that's the size that I used to be when I was at my highest, but I was overweight. I wasn't obese. And also, so it's like, there's a difference between being a size 16 and an 18, like a mid-size or an average size, and then being morbidly obese. So I think that that's kind of where we hit the difference. Like, yes, we're not going to be able to buy really expensive fMRI machines if you cannot fit into it and you're like morbidly obese. But yes, would it be nice to make more accommodating towels and things like that for people who are getting bigger? Like, I think that it's hard because I don't think we want to encourage people to continue to just live unhealthy lifestyles and just adapt. Like, I think obviously a reason that the average woman has grown from a certain size, from I don't know what size it used to be, but from the average size that was smaller to a bigger size, is because in America, is because of fast food and because of sorry, I just got my hair straightened, so I'm just like messing with it, and I'm just being stupid. But yeah, like fast food, unhealthy foods, and the food industry being a lot worse out there. That's what I would say. And I don't want us to just kind of be like, okay, this is what's happening, so let's just let it happen and let's just do everything we can, but I don't think that this towel struggle is as big as she's making it, in my opinion. Like, I feel like made to fit a size 6 to 8, like, I feel like bodies are different, like the way that they're formed is different. Like, I've never had a struggle wearing a towel when I was a size 16 to 18. I was fine. So I don't really get what she means by that. Like, I didn't even know that there was like specific towel small sizings, but I guess there is. She probably is the expert, so I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about. But I just don't think it's this big of a deal, in my opinion. Okay. I love seeing your posts. Not being a part of the fat. I'm sad, yeah. Oh. Okay. I'm always tired when I make these videos. I don't know why. Not being a part of the fat community and also not being American, I really get information I wouldn't get otherwise, and I can check my privilege. I know you're here to empower fat people and not primarily to educate non-fat people like me, but you're achieving both. Thanks so much for what you do. So, like, this person, I feel like, is kind of the embodiment of like a scared ally. Like, they're so scared to, like, they are trying to instantly already respond to any haters who would be like, she's not making content for you. Like, I know, but I just want to say that I really like you. Oh, like, what are you scared for? Just say that she's helping you and you like it, and you're getting a lot of information you wouldn't otherwise because it's misinformation. Like, this probably is true. Like, I'm like, this is from Virgie Tovar. This is someone commenting on Virgie Tovar. This is probably true. But there are so many other things. Like I made a video responding to watching her video that she did with Ulta Beauty. I didn't watch all of it, I only watched some of it, but I meant to upload it, but I've just forgotten. So I'll upload it probably like after this or something. But there was a lot of misinformation that she was saying there, and it was making me really upset. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like, what do you mean check your privilege? Like, what does that do? Like, I don't like this kind of idea that's people, and I don't want to get too like political, but like, I don't like the idea of checking privilege. Like, everybody has privilege to some extent. That doesn't mean that there aren't certain people. Like, I do believe that white privilege exists. I'm not going to pretend like it doesn't, but it's not this, I don't feel like it's this entire like huge thing that like controls like everything. I don't want to believe that. And maybe me not wanting to believe it just because it's sad, but I don't want to live like that, thinking, oh my God, like there's so many people in the world who have privileges over me. Because yes, I have privileges over many people living in America, a good country, not a third world country. You know, obviously it has its flaws, but it's not a third world country. And there are a lot of third world countries out there that aren't like, it isn't just filled with poverty, but you know what I mean? I'm not living in a small box of an apartment. Like, do I not like living here? Because is it small in my opinion? Yes, for me as an American, that's small. But like, I feel like there is certain ways that I'm privileged over other people, you know? But like, what do I need to check my privilege? Like, I can acknowledge that my life is better than other people's, better than some other people's. And I can also acknowledge that some people have better lives than me. You know, like it sucks. And that doesn't mean that I don't sometimes get emotional about both. Like, I don't get sad about homeless people. I don't get sad about rich people. But it's like, why do people need to check their privilege? Like, I feel like the only way that that's appropriate is if somebody's just saying, oh, because I am this or that, I don't have any privileges in life. Like, none. Like a white person saying, like, I got here, like, I have no privileges. I like, that's like Donald Trump saying, I have no privileges and blah, 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 blah. Just a small loan of $1 million. That's when he needs to check. He would need to check his privilege. When somebody is just outright like denying that there was something that attributed to the success they have. But that doesn't mean that everybody who has any sort of success who's white can solely attribute it to being white, but it did help. But why does it always need to be acknowledged? I think it only needs to be acknowledged when we're thinking about a Black counterpart who maybe worked as hard, you know. But like, what does she need to check? Being skinny? Like, I don't know, it's just dumb. You could become fat. I can't become white. Anyways, or I could. Sorry, so dumb. Okay. If you didn't get that joke, then probably it's for the best. Okay, so wait, let me read what this is because this kind of has no context. Someone has started a recruitment service for FAs, and rules for hiring managers are exactly what you expect. A recruitment service for, whoa, what the? Sorry, I just got a weird ad. Okay, I don't get what the context of this is still. I'm still a little confused, but we're just gonna roll with it and hopefully I'll be able to understand. You acknowledge that you will make everyday effort to avoid and or mitigate harm you could potentially cause. Wow, there's a lot of prefaces to this sentence. Even if it's well-intentioned, impact is what matters most. Harm you could potentially cause in what way? For what? Wait, what do you think? I need more context. Someone has started a recruitment service for the fat acceptance for the FAs? For what recruitment? For what? I'm so confused. I'm sorry if I don't understand this. What like that? That's why I need context. Like, what harm? Like, you need to be more specific. Like, just any harm, like pain, hurting somebody, or like just saying something mean. Like, obviously, that like this is a given. Okay, you will present a clear job description, scope of work. You acknowledge that any updates or changes will be communicated and agreed upon. You acknowledge that while things can change, goalpost moving is harmful. What is that? Consistent, reasonable, and respectful communication is respected. I mean, this is pretty basic, except this is confusing, and I didn't really like this, but this is vague. But what is this for? You acknowledge that in your working relationship with the person hired, you will operate, okay, here we go. Jackpot. Everything else just like, whatever. Personality, you will operate without a typical fat phobia, capitalism. What? You mean capitalist? Wait, You operate without the typical fat phobia, capitalism, racism. Okay, never mind. Homophobia and overall oppression that the corporate machine exposes. Well, is this a corporate setting? Because that means that I like, you know, naturally it's going to be capitalist. You know, the typical, like I like how they're saying typical, like it's just ooh, that hurts my eyes. Anyways, we're gonna do it anyway. Typical racism, homophobia, and overall oppression that like what is like I just feel like this is the way that this is said is unprofessional. Like why do you need to say typical? Why can't you just say that it's not happening? Like this is not something that I feel like a professional setting would put out there like this. I mean, you know, you will center the thoughts, opinions, experiences, and concerns of the gig seekers. I don't know what this is even. I don't even know what this is about. This is confusing to me. But but I'll just say when it comes to this wording is weird. Like, you know, and I don't like how fat phobia is put in the same boat with this stuff. And obviously, capitalism, you're a company trying to make money. You're gonna have that. Like you're in a capitalist society. If this is from America, like I'm assuming. I don't know. It's just confusing what this is even about. Need more context. Okay, gatekeeping. Thick means fat, thick means fat, thick means fat. It does not mean muscle, it does not mean lean. It does not mean tiny thigh squish from tights. It means fat. Thick is referring to fat. It boomed from the body positivity movement. Let fat people have thick. Why do you care about a little word? Why does it matter so much to you? And also, no, it's not just about being fat. It boomed from the body positivity movement. But that doesn't mean that's where it began. I don't know the history of this one word, but the thing is, the word tea means to drink tea. The word tea is herbal leaves that you put into hot water or sometimes cold water and you drink it. But other people have used it as it's a slang term to mean something like someone has gossip or something to tell. So why are you mad that this word thick, which isn't even a word in the dictionary? Nope, isn't even a word in the dictionary. You're mad that it's been construed to mean something else, you know? Like, just let us gatekeep this, please. Let us gatekeep this. Actually, I believe that thick doesn't mean fat, you know, but if we're gonna, like, I think it means, you know, just having a big lower half. It doesn't always mean like, I think it's been kind of taken to mean just fat. But the thing is, I think that it can mean either one, to be honest. But I'm just saying my opinion. Like if I'm to disagree with this person, but I think it can mean whatever you want it to mean, as long as it's like some kind of bigness somewhere, usually in the lower area. But to like be so technical about a term, it's just really dumb, in my opinion. A term, that slang term, you know, unless you're just using it outright wrong. Like if a girl who's like anorexic says, "Oh my God, I look so thick today." Like, I mean, even she could use it if she's gained a little bit of weight recently. I don't know. Like, it's a slang term, honey. Just calm down. It's really not that serious. You know, like, is it annoying when I see SZA's Big Boy song being used for men who are just tall? Like, I guess because they're not big boys, but I don't really care. Like, it doesn't affect me. It's just like kind of dumb. Like, I just think they're using it wrong, but it's not like this huge serious thing, you know, but I feel like this person is taking it really seriously. Whatever, that's not much to say about that. Okay, so what is this? Bad people are not costume. This channel has been, the channel has been turned. Sound is off. These hands are for Frasier. What is that? Frasier, like the show? Fat people are not a costume, and his performance is nothing short of pity porn. Horrific. Okay, so when it comes to like the movie, I will say that it was a bit like especially the beginning. We're talking about The Whale, the movie. Spoilers. Okay, I'm not gonna give spoilers. I did see the movie. It was very sad, but you already know that if you've seen the trailer, it's a very sad movie. So I'm trying not to give spoilers, but I'm just gonna say what this person said about pity porn. It's not off the mark. I just think their reasoning for it is. But I think it also gives a perspective of an obese person in a way that like My 600-Pound Life does. You know, like we get to see like, yes, the monstrosity, that's kind of a mean word to say, like the atrocity, that's what I meant, the atrocity that they have to live with, which is what they've created a jail in their body. I'm not saying that there aren't really big people out there who are living the life, doing the thing, you know, being fashionable and stuff. But the true reality is that The Whale is an honest depiction of what it's usually like to be really large, like morbidly obese. Like, yes, there are some turnaround people who are, you know, reclaiming fat and trying to live, you know, despite that title. Just like there are some people who have cancer who are out there living their lives, whatever, you know, maybe that's a bit of a reach of a comparison, but the true experience from what I've seen and what is just the norm, you know, is that experience of The Whale. And you know, the experience of overeating and feeling miserable, not like everything that happened in that movie, because the movie is fictional. It's based on a play. It's like, it's not real life, but the parts of him struggling with overeating, like, I'm not obese. I've never been obese, but there are some parts that even as me, as somebody who just struggles with food, could relate to, you know, even though I have never experienced what it's like to be that large and to be trapped in a body like that. Like pity porn, I can see that in like in certain aspects. But this movie was meant to share sympathy with people who are that big. But it also meant to share sympathy with many other things. But that was one of them. And I think a lot of people are annoyed because they're like, oh, being fat isn't a costume, you know, and then other people who are anti-fat acceptance or or who are of the opinion that this was a fine movie are saying that Brendan Fraser himself is overweight and that he only wore something that made him, you know, a lot bigger, obviously. You know, I don't think that he's experienced what it's like to be super morbidly obese, because he looks like he's obese, probably overweight in that range, but like he's not been like 600 pounds, you know. But I think that this was an opportunity for him to play a character that needed depth, and it wasn't a joke, because there have been in the past, like when Gwyneth Paltrow did the movie Shallow Hal, which, if you guys don't know that movie, honestly, I like the movie. I'm not gonna lie, I like the movie because I think it has a good message, even though it's like just so dumb. It's a movie with Jack Black, and basically he falls in love with this. He gets hypnotized and then falls in love with this girl that he thinks is skinny, but she's actually morbidly obese. I don't really know how that act would ever work, because wouldn't he feel how heavy she is when they had sex, blah, blah, whatever. But anyways, we're just going to pretend like it makes sense. But yeah, basically at the end of the movie, it shows her and she's like in a fat suit and she's like huge or whatever. And a lot of fat people are annoyed that, well, some people are annoyed, like this person's annoyed about the concept of the movie. I think they'd even be annoyed if the person was 600 pounds, because there have been movies like What's Eating Gilbert Grape, where an actual person who was like big was used as like, I'm not even going to get into the movie because it doesn't matter, but there was a character who was supposed to be really morbidly obese because it's based on a book, which I love. It's my favorite book. And they used somebody who was actually obese. Like really, he was really big, and they died early, sadly. I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of like using someone who actually has cancer in like a cancer film. Like I'm talking about like morbidly obese. Like if it's just somebody who's like slightly overweight or like maybe a little bit big, like maybe, yeah, actually use a big person. But like it's somebody who's in that kind of like close to near death state, or like really bad, like 600. You don't want to get a person from My 600 Pound Life to do this kind of movie, or an aspiring 600 pound actor I'm not going to be mean, but I doubt that there's a lot of those out there. I doubt that many of them are just focused on trying to get healthier, or just struggling with their addiction. Maybe just putting that out there, especially when we're talking about characters who are really morbidly obese, like in The Whale. I don't know. That's just my opinion. But yeah, like I think they would want to focus on their health. But then there's some people who are just mad about the concept of the movie, like this person, like I said. And so like I won't say that they're wrong for saying pity porn, like I've said like 3 times already. But I think that the movie, in my opinion, did have its points where it was kind of using his fatness as a way to like be like, oh, this is so gross, right? But then also I feel like a lot of it was more like it was trying to sympathize. I think the movie was complex in the way that it dealt with the moral ambiguity of people who do bad things or did bad things. That's really what I think the movie was about in its essence. So it's complicated, but what do other people say? Excited to burn every copy of this movie in existence and hack into the streaming services and move it everywhere. Is Fraser the director? I don't know. Brendan Fraser. I'm so dumb, bro. Okay. Oh no, they're really makeup and hairstyling. Because the fat suit? I don't know. I think it was well done. It's probably the best one I've seen. But it's also because I think Brendan Fraser has the face. Like if you do it to a skinny person, it's really hard to make them look morbidly obese. But he has like a bigger face, so I think it worked. Like I've seen other fat suits on bigger people, and it works really well. Like who did one? Oh, like the guy from This Is Us. Like they did one on him because he already was kind of overweight, so it works well. Anyways, I think the movie was fine. Very sad if you're gonna watch it. Hopefully I didn't spoil it in a way that would like make you not like it or feel like I've done it enough. I tried not to spoil it. It's just sad. But I think that fat suits is the same thing with people who play gay characters but they aren't actually gay, or people who play trans characters aren't actually trans, or people who play disabled people aren't actually disabled. I feel like there's a lot of questions going around there. But I just think, in my opinion, at the end of the day, an acting job is an acting job. Would it be, sometimes it goes too far. Like, I definitely think Sia's music, the girl who's supposed to have autism, I think that it would be hard to get somebody who's nonverbal to act. So I think they probably need to have somebody who's higher functioning, who's nonverbal, would need to act. I think it's a difficult process. And I just feel like in some aspects, there's not many aspiring actors out there who are nonverbal who would want to do that. But I just think the way that she was portrayed was not accurate. But I don't know. I didn't even watch the movie, but I just think that that's why a lot of people were disappointed. But I think it was also just a trendy thing to hate also. So it's hard. Like these are complicated. But I think that these people are overreacting when it comes to this, because I think that the movie wasn't poking fun at fat people. It was an honest portrayal of what it's like to be that large and what the usual experience is. Like, I think they want it to be something else. Just like how I would love to see like billions of Black movies without racism. But racism is a part of a Black person's experience, at least in America. And maybe, but it doesn't mean it has to be the whole focus. And obviously that comparison is a little bit far, because when you're 600 pounds, a lot of your focus is going to be on your weight. But hopefully you can get what I mean. Okay, I think I'm going to do this one and then I'm going to go. Let's see who this one is. Ooh. Okay. You might want to know why fat people might be out of breath. Ooh, let's see. Because in addition to moving the weight of our awesome fat bodies around, yes, we are badasses like that. You're trying to get us to carry around your anti-fat bias, and that shit is heavy. Like, this is just like, so one time I reacted to something on here, which I don't expect people who watch these videos to watch all of my videos. I feel like it's just like a one-off kind of thing. Hi. But I reacted to something that said, people in my 600-pound life still have partners. Go eat that cupcake, sis. This just seems like that. Like, I feel like this is like humor. Like there's no way that this person does not know that like fat people are out of breath because they're heavy, you know? But there's no way that that girl knows that it's not going to be 600 pound eat a cupcake. Like, but I think that also they're just kind of trying to like, I don't know, like, what is the point of this? Like use comedy to, I think they're trying to expose what they don't like about anti-fat bias or whatever, but also by roping in something that's like that would be, I think would be what they feel would be used in anti-fat bias. You know, like I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say. Like basically I'm trying to say like I just don't think that there's any way that this person genuinely believes that people are like the fact that they're even mentioning why fat people might be out of breath. There's no way that they genuinely believe because of the pain they face as people with anti-fat bias. I think it's a joke, obviously, you know, but it's like what how are fat people badasses because they have to deal with like discrimination and stuff. Like I guess that's true in a certain aspect, like having to deal with, I don't know why I changed it now, it's the last thing I'm going to film, but anyways, how they deal with, you know, people being mean to them and, you know, constantly criticizing them and whatever. I guess that in that aspect they could be badasses, but it's like I don't get why you can't just say like, what is this joke? What's the joke? I guess the joke is like, oh, they breathe heavy because you guys are so mean or something. Yeah, I to me this is like, it's not funny because I don't believe it. I guess that's the truth. But it's like at the end of the day, you do have to admit, this person would have to admit, no, they wouldn't have to, but I'm just saying, to admit that like, sorry, what am I trying to say? Oh, they would have to admit that there's another reason, like a reason that people are out of breath is because in addition to moving the weight of our awesome fat body, so they know this is, I just don't know how to respond to this because it's just a joke, but it's also like, but what does fat people being out of breath have to do with anti-fat bias, which that word is already like, what? I'm guessing that means what is like people who don't like fat people, you know? I don't know. Anyways, I didn't want to end it like that, but that's it. Jennifer Coolidge. Adele's been on it for years. We cannot lose Lizzo. We could not. Like, how desperate are you to they were fat, like Jennifer Coolidge, I mean, but like Adele was fat and she became successful. What's so wrong with her like wanting to fix her health? Like, it's great that she was able to in a super like in a super fat phobic industry, if you will, be an exception. Like that's not lost because she lost weight. She didn't get manipulated. She wanted to focus on her health and be a boss bitch. What's wrong with that? What's wrong? You don't want Lizzo to get healthier, but to them, they don't think that makes somebody healthy. But what's so wrong with that? It's just because you are insecure and you don't want to see somebody who's successful, who has one similar trait to you, change that trait because you no longer can feel good in your own body, which is sad. You know, I'm sorry, I just had to make a quick response to that. All right, peace out.